Hi, my name is Tom Dale, and this is Tony Spiro, and we're giving a talk on optimizing images with Cosmic. Tony's the CEO of Cosmic. He started Cosmic to solve his own problems with existing content management tools available, and he's dedicating himself to helping modernize content management workflows. Thanks so much for joining me, Tony.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here. Really excited to dive in and talk about how Cosmic and Imgix are doing really cool stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm the head of customer success at Imgix, and I try to emphasize, some of my side things on web performance and headless solutions. So I think this is going to combine for like a really good talk. Now, if you're wondering why Tony and I are doing this together, we've actually got a pretty great, history and partnership together. Cosmic and Imgix have been customers since 2016, and we've known each other for, about 3 years now. We started off by doing some blog posts together. I know, Tony, you pushed a lot on doing like an advanced Imgix extension where you could like really add in a lot of different features of Imgix. We created a partnership program where you became an official CMS partner at Imgix. The first webinar, as in who knows how many.
The first of many.
Yeah, I know, right? And I honestly tried to like look up some funny stats to see like how many images together we've served or who knows. And it's literally too far back to be able to collect such data, but I bet it is just an outrageous number.
Trillions of
billions. I can literally remember like even during like one of your customers was AOC, right? And she was doing her campaign was on Cosmic and Imgix. And there was like a time where she was being talked about like so much that I think we were seeing like, what were the numbers? It was like over 100 million a day in requests. It was crazy.
It was insane. Yes, I remember that.
So, I mean, the strength of Cosmic and how much visits and traffic you can put to it is really great. So today, for giving examples on how to actually like optimize using Imgix and image optimization techniques, I'm going to do actually like a tutorial of making a site. Now, if you haven't used Cosmic before, you can actually go to like a marketplace and there's a bunch of pre-done example websites, right? And so the one we're doing now will be up there for you to also make yourself. But I think this will be a great way to kind of show the process you would go through and how you could really like get advanced and do different items. I decided to make it like a fan site. So you could do any kind of a who knows what, right? And we just watched Loki recently, so I'm going to do it on Loki and, hope Disney doesn't get upset.
Yeah, after this video, be prepared to hear from the Disney lawyers, but I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah. So some of the tools we're going to use today, I'm going to use Nuxt.js for the front end framework, right? It's built on Vue, but it has some really great SEO optimization techniques that Vue just needs for websites. And so many other things are really easy in there. And Nuxt is one of the many, really good frameworks for Jamstack, like headless CMS websites. You could also use like a Next.js or Gatsby or something like that is really popular as well. I teamed it up with Tailwind because I am so lazy about doing CSS. So it's just like a shortcut thing for me. And then I'm deploying with Vercel. You can obviously use Netlify or Gatsby Cloud is something that's good Gatsby nowadays, or who knows. And then we obviously have Cosmic. And I listed Imgix here, but really it's just included with Cosmic. Anything you put on Cosmic is on Imgix. So it's something that's already there you don't have to worry about.
Out of the box, Imgix included. A note on Tailwind. We love Tailwind at Cosmic as well. And Cosmic and Imgix are another couple of great lazy developer solutions for you to just kind of have everything that you need out of the box, right?
Yeah. So let me go ahead and get to the tutorial here. And first, I'll show you just the homepage for Cosmic and just kind of see that marketplace I was talking about. So see here at the homepage, you could go to, here we go, developers in the apps marketplace. And this is where you would find example sites you would use and where you're going to find this one. And you can see as you click into them, you'll be able to like view demos, the codes. And pressing this would add it to your actual dashboard and like pre-build in some different tools to make it really simple to launch the site. You want to talk more about kind of this
Right.
idea and why you guys went this route, Tony?
Yeah, so just in case anyone is not really familiar with a headless CMS, so we'll kind of start at what a headless CMS offers. So Cosmic is a headless CMS, meaning that we provide a web dashboard to create content and API tools and resources to integrate content into any website or application. And the reason why folks choose Cosmic is to avoid the pain and costs of maintaining their own infrastructure for their content management system, right? They choose Cosmic, they can basically eliminate layers of technology and just focus on their application and delivering great content to their customers and users. So along with Imgix and other service providers that provide an API service, we leverage state-of-the-art infrastructure so that you can avoid any sort of like maybe open source option for maintaining your own content management system. You plug into Cosmic and you get everything kind of out of the box, already optimized for all of your needs, including Imgix built in, so that you don't have to worry about building your own image processing service. You can actually just plug into Cosmic and you have Imgix there, and a lot of tools are there ready for you out of the box. And so that's something that I think is really valuable today, is just kind of speed to market. And so that's kind of what Cosmic offers. And along with just kind of our core product, we also offer a community of plug and play applications. So if you go to our community apps page, you'll see applications you can install with various use cases, such as a blog or e-commerce, kind of typical use cases for content management. And you can install the application and have the content model installed immediately, so you can begin kind of connecting the dots and seeing how it may work out for your use case. So it's just a way to kind of allow the developers and content creators on your team to really kind of see how you can work better together using a solution like Cosmic.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to my dashboard now, and if I had like selected the app, it would give me something like, I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. So right away, you're going to have these three items right here, right? So these are kind of where you're going to store all of your content. And so what I'm going to go through is kind of just show you how easy it is to add some of this content, and then maybe Tony, you can kind of explain, how these work and yeah.
Sure. Yeah. While you kind of build out the content, I can riff on the content model architecture that we have with Cosmic. So basically, every project that you create can be split up into something we call buckets, and those are environments, right? So you can have a staging bucket, a production bucket, testing bucket. And inside of each of these buckets, you have something called object types. And that's what you see there on the left-hand side in the sidebar: episodes, heroes, homes. That's Tom has created object types, which is basically any type of content that will share a similar structure. And so each object type contains objects, and objects are just that. If you're a developer, you're familiar with kind of JSON objects. And so that's kind of the route that we went as far as explaining what you can do within your content, is that you can actually extend the object with something called meta fields. And meta fields, as you see on this page, avatar is an image meta field, and you can also extend this to include text, numbers. You can actually connect objects to each other, so object relationships, like in the case of having blog posts that relate to different categories. So really, it's a very powerful way to extend your content model. And so just to kind of summarize, it's buckets, object types, objects, and meta fields. And of course, we offer fantastic media library upload capabilities that all of these images have Imgix out of the box there, that the link is available for you to immediately use in your application.
Yeah, so that image that is like you saw me upload, it's already given me the URL here, right? But then there are settings in here to start just adding, different widths, different heights, different kind of parameters, right? And you've got something that's sized, optimized, delivering different formats depending on the browser, all kinds of good stuff. But I want to emphasize for this specific demo I'm giving, really just upload the largest, nicest image you have, and don't worry about this because we're going to let the front end do some magic and just optimize it for you. So, and we'll show you that. You did talk about the idea too of accessing this content, right? So I've gone in and just added a couple things real quick. I think we get the idea, right? So let me just flip over to the done version I did. And this just has more content in it, right? But so now there's a great place up here called developer tools. So we said I'm going to use GraphQL Apollo for this tutorial, but there's a lot of great ways to connect to your data, right? But I do love this idea that right away I could like open a playground. I can already be right here and see maybe what kind of data I would get, right? And so I know I have a title and a content, right? If I think about what did I put in there, right? I also did an image, an avatar, right? So I actually put that in the metadata section. So let me like put that in here, run it again. So here we go. Now we have access to this. So building out this kind of query is what we're going to be doing in this tutorial to show how we're taking advantage of this.
Yes, a quick note on the developer tools button there that's available for all of those pages. That's something that as a developer myself, you know, we were talking about kind of lazy developer resources. This is one of those things where, you know, rather than thumbing through documentation, I really think it's so much nicer to have something right there in the UI for you to just kind of play with and kind of do your own query building. And also it's a great kind of connector to allow the developer to really see with the various tools how easy it would be to integrate that content. So this is something we're definitely proud of, and it's something, you know, I think makes it great to kind of see, you know, what sort of capabilities you have with the Headless CMS, you know, and with these kind of, you know, modern API services.
Yeah, and then the one last thing I'm going to want from this dashboard to pull into my Nuxt app is going to be the API, right? So let's just pretend I press this button and it's going to show you the name of my bucket. I think I actually maybe have a screenshot over here of it. Here we go. It's going to show you the name of my bucket, the read key, and then below that is my write key, right? So all I really am going to need is the bucket slug and the read key for this tutorial. So you don't have to ever worry about, no one's going to be able to like mess up your stuff because they don't have the write key. So I'm not hiding this data in .env files or anything funny like that, right? But so this is where you would access that. But so next, let's look at Nuxt. All right. So what you're going to see over here, this is going to be an example of the Nuxt file you're going to get in the code. And I'm just going to go through and show you a couple of the items. All right. So first off, I mentioned the idea of those GraphQL queries, right? Queries. So I have 5 of them in here, and they're each going to do different things. And the reason I have a bunch of different ones is because, like, I don't want to access all the content I put on Cosmic every single page I go to, right? Because then I'm just downloading unnecessary stuff in a JSON payload. So the nice thing about GraphQL is you can get real specific. Like, look at just this container, this section is object called episodes, and then give me these couple things that are in there, right? So we are going to just need to add the slug and the read key, and this is what you would actually do, right? And you would just put it with whatever yours are. And let's do this real quick here. And then we get, just goes to show this is exactly the app you're going to get. So how quick it will be until you have some content showing, right? And in this, I'll also include what my slug and read key are. So if you don't want to make something and just want to see what I did, you can do that, okay? So here we go. So we have those in there. And, you know, I think it's actually going to run right now with everything I've done just here. So let's check. Let's just run it in dev and see if we can get everything going here. So I'm going to do a yarn dev over here, and let's open my local host. And it's going to generate over here in 1 second. Amazing. Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. So we have this, what I'm going to call like a header up here, right? But then these 3 items right here are actually coming from this home section. Sorry.
Yeah, I was looking at this, Tom, and I don't mean to be like the critical Carl over here, but homes. I mean, why not name it widgets or
Widgets. That's a good idea.
modules?
Yeah.
Or and I think it's one of those things where coming from maybe a WordPress background, I never really knew what a widget was, honestly. I don't think anyone really knows what a widget is, but I think it's one of those generic things that's probably, this looks like a widget, maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, so everything I add here, well, let's do it live. Let's add one more widget.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it widget. Let's see what happens here. And let's just choose. This isn't the right image, but it's okay. We'll just choose this for fun and see what happens.
Hey now.
What a world. What a world. I added a random thing. Here it is.
You appeased me. You didn't need to, but you did.
But yeah, and you can see things are optimized. I'm not really worrying about it. And we'll go in a little more detail how this is happening. But it's kind of nice that all of it's just running so live, right? And if I didn't like that, bye-bye. It's really easy to control the content here, okay? So let's kind of dig into like how I got these 3 things to actually show, right? So I'm going to go to in my pages section. So I have a folder for each of the 3 things I make, right? So whatever 3 things you make yourself in your project, it doesn't have to be these names, but whatever they are in the homes and the widgets, name them this, right? And that's going to be kind of how your routing works. But here's my index.view, and that's my home page, right? So in my home page, I have a component for the header, which is this top part. I have a component for home, which is these 3 things. And this is just some SEO stuff, right? So this is how I'm getting all 3 of these things to show up. I'm creating a component, I'm binding the data, and then here is the GraphQL I'm bringing from Apollo, right? And let's look at this one, the allhomes.gql, right? Here it is up here. So I just connected those items, said look at the homes, because that's the name of the container. And here's the items I wanted brought, because I only needed that, right? I needed the image and this name up here, and slug and ID, why not? And that was pretty easy to bring in. And it's a pretty simple item. And each of the pages are going to be really just using a lot of components, right? So let's dig into what this home component is and what I did there. So here's the home component. So what I've done is use views v4 functionality. So the idea there is, hey, look in the data that we're getting. The data we chose was the GraphQL stuff. And for every time there is an instance, I want you to repeat this. So I have 3 instances. So repeat this 3 times. And this is essentially like kind of like an A, right? But it's a little smarter because it is like building out the routes. It's like preloading in there already, and it makes it real simple to connect to it, right? And it's going to whatever the slug name is of that. So that's why I brought in the slug for the GraphQL, right? And then right here, I have the title. So the about, the Lokis, the whatever it is, right? That's all it took to reference it from Cosmic to the GraphQL. And then here's the image component. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually using an SDK from Imgix called a View SDK. So it's already installed in this template. You don't have to worry about it. But I mean, if you want to see roughly what it is, it's just me connecting to the URL, right? imgix.cosmicjs.com. And then I am, what was it called? And then I'm using ix image instead of image, right? And then again, bring up the image URL. And then I want Imgix to crop everything. And I want you to make it this width and height and just generate that as a source set with a bunch of different variations, right? So let's look at this one. So this one, it's generating different DPR values depending what device you're looking at. And the browser is pretty smart. It's just gonna, whatever resolution you're on, it's gonna choose the right one. And then you have some intelligent formatting here going on. So it'll be WebP or lots of things going on. But you don't have to worry about it. And it's a really good way to optimize your images, because not only are you showing higher resolution images, you're even doing something where you lower the quality on each higher resolution, which is like a really good tactic, because when you increase the size, you can actually lower the quality and it's not visible. It's a great way of like keeping it lighter weight, but making it sure it looks good on a phone or something like that, right? Yeah, so it's a real simple way of how to use those image URLs. Let's look maybe at a little bit of a deeper thought of what I'm doing, right? So if I click in, so this error is just because some funny stuff I did, but don't worry, I'll show you the live one. It won't have any errors, okay? So what I'm doing here now is for each individual Loki I created to generate one, right? So we can look at that page again, right? So in the pages, I'm looking at Lokis, and you have an index.view and this right here. This thing is kind of like the dynamic thing for Nuxt, saying everything that's here, all 8 of these, just replicate the same thing when you go to the page, but make it dynamic based on the data that Cosmic gave us, right? So when I click in here, each page has its own URL. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Let's look real quick what I did.
While you're tracking that down, I just want to say that Tom and I did kind of a prep before this this webinar, and well, he showed me this ahead of time, so that's why I'm not oohing and awing right now, because he showed it to me. I'm like, this is freaking awesome! Like, just editing this stuff on the fly is so cool. You know, we've been a customer of Imgix for a while. We've got customers that use Imgix, and
there we go.
Prior to this Nuxt SDK implementation, they had to really build out all of the source sets, you know, for the different types of file optimizations themselves, right? So this is something like really kind of cuts down on that developer tedious work, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, what I was doing wrong was I was referencing the wrong folder, so it was going nowhere, right? But now that I've referenced the right one, now just thinking about back to the home page, for this page, I'm doing the same idea, right? I'm doing the v-for, looping through on each instance of an object. I'm doing that Nuxt link, right? So it's like an A. If you click into it, it goes somewhere. But instead of, now I'm putting everything as an image. So like if you take this image and open it somewhere else, it's actually no CSS going on here, right? This is the image, yeah, right? So how I did that, again, using Imgix, I used that IX image I showed you, but now I'm really taking advantage of like some additional parameters, right? So let's like zoom in and try to see what in the world I'm doing. So I'm doing that cropping, I'm making it circular. I'm making sure that I kind of crop to a face because it's a bigger picture originally, right? And if there's no face, crop to something that looks like, you know, like it's what you want, which is how I got the alligator.
Detects an alligator face, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. See that it didn't detect the face, but it detected it was like prominent, the most prominent part of the object of the image. So that's what caught it there, right? And now we're getting really fun. For this text, look at what came through from Cosmic and literally put the text in there in the image. So I just love this idea. And then I could just keep going further and further. I'm adding blends. I'm doing all kinds of things to make it look smoky like this, but you know, you could not do that, or you could do anything you want, right? But that's just like a really fun, advanced way to do this. let me now switch to maybe the live site. So here it goes. So we're in the live site now, and clicking around, there's no funny delays, right? That was just me doing something funny. But here's something I want to show from the live site. So remember, I kind of briefly showed that idea of a social head. Where did I show that? Let's see. Let's go to here we go. So what this is doing is saying, give me some OG image info for when I go to Twitter or Facebook, right? So I'm going to click on this guy here. And I just want to show you what would happen if you put it on Twitter. So this is like a validator from Twitter, right? So if I just put this URL here, it's going to tell me what it would look like. So this is what it would look like. It's going to have the actual text from what I wrote in Cosmic, the title. I've put the smokiness on the image. I put the text over it. I added a logo to my website. You could do whatever you want here, right? I'm not the best designer, but I do know how to get things going there, right? And same idea here. Let's see it in Facebook, because Facebook is going to be a different size thing, right? So I think that's really fun to think about. Here we go. So literally, Facebook in this example is a square. Over here, I've got the text higher, so you can see his face more, and I've got the logo down here, right? But I promise I didn't do a lot of smart customizing for every single thing. I just did the same thing for all of them. I said, hey, whatever the title is of here, whatever the description is, whatever the image is that you got from Cosmic, put it in this component, right? And this component is then just passing all that, the head meta stuff, right? And then specifically for the images, I'm using this Imgix fun stuff, right? Imgix is an API. So anything you put after the URL will match, different items, right? So I know for Twitter, I want it to be a 1x1 square by 450. I want you to crop to, again, the alligator face or whatever, right? I want you to add blends, all those kinds of things. But for Facebook, I want the 1200 by 630, yada, 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 right? And the great thing is these images are getting like rendered multiple times, right? This isn't something that's like Tony's going to secretly charge you for. This is like included. All of this is included. And literally Facebook and Twitter are paying for the CDN, right? Because they're just proxying this. So give them tons of different versions, tons of fun versions that are going to stand out when someone shares an article from your site, right? So I think that's it's really fun. And I couldn't think of a better thing to do than to run this in a page speed performance to really cap off everything, right? Because what are we doing in life if we're not building sites that at least have good scores, right? Yeah, I mean, what else do we want to kind of show? I mean, well, this is, I never talked about Vercel, right? 91 mobile, 97 desktop. Thank goodness.
Nice.
I gave it too much, probably JavaScript from Nuxt or something, but these are great scores. Yeah, the last thing I guess we didn't mention was deploying it on Vercel, right? I include in my thing right here a vercel.json folder. This is what I typically use when I deploy Nuxt items on Vercel. You might know Vercel because they created Next.js. So you would think they wouldn't do good things with Nuxt, right? But they definitely do great things with Nuxt and Gatsby and other things as well. So I just put this little thing in here, and literally all you do is just push your item to GitHub, put it on the dashboard of Vercel. It's connected, deploys it so quick. And again, you're not having to redeploy changes every time you go to Cosmic. Remember, it's an API. So literally, as you change things in Cosmic, it's affecting the live site. I mean, we don't need to show it again, right? Do people believe me?
I believe you.
You believe me? Okay, good. So great. I mean, hopefully this is just giving you ideas of different fun techniques to do. I hope people go out there and make fun fan sites. Show me some, I don't know what new shows are coming out, right? Like, do we need an Eternals one that's coming up soon? Or The what if
my daughter's obsessed with Wonder Woman, so that might be one.
Wonder Woman site. Yeah.
Really cool stuff. I just want to add that, you know, Vercel is a great partner of Cosmix as well. And so, you know, using Vercel along with Imgix and Cosmic, I think it's a great way to just mitigate a lot of kind of developer boilerplate you would normally have to do to kind of get the stuff up and running. So I think it's a real powerful combo.
Awesome. And also, if you run into problems with this or disagree crazy about what we're saying in life, or who knows, right? Guess what? There's a community Slack for Cosmic, and Tony and I are in there, and you really can message us, make fun of us, ask questions. Why my thing's broken? Whatever you want.
Definitely DM me if you got any questions. DM Tom if you got some snark and you know, you want to make fun of us.
Yeah.
Or DM me if you want to make fun of Tom.
Yeah.
So
get better pictures of Loki. We should put them in there.
It's a joy to build with these tools, and you know, just want to say that, we are so appreciative of Imgix and the long partnership we've had, and our customers love the integration. And so you know, if anybody watching this has any questions, feel free to jump into our technical channel and in our Slack channel. Reach out to me directly. I think this video here, you know, share it and like it, smash that like button and share it. I love educating folks on these new technologies and helping them along. So I'm happy to be a part of this, and thank you, Tom, for inviting me to come join.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you at the next one, and we'll see what it's about.
Sounds good. Thanks. Bye.